Hi and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for joining. My name is Rachel and I blog over at thislovelyllittlefarmhouse.com. And today I want to jump on and give y'all just a quick little pregnancy update and tell y'all like some of the supplements I'm taking and the things I'm doing to prepare for labor, as it is getting really close now. And so I just wanted to hop on and share with y'all some of those things and hopefully help you and encourage you if you're at the same stage of the game as I am. So thank you for joining, and first I would just like to say I so appreciate you being here, and if you would like, please hit that subscribe button because it's so helpful for growing a YouTube channel and getting my videos seen. Give it a thumbs up if you don't mind. I really appreciate it. And let's jump right in. So as of Saturday, I was 36 weeks. So I'm like 36 weeks and 3 days or something like that. So what I've been doing and how things are looking, I had an appointment yesterday actually, so got the freshest update and things are looking good. I'm really excited. I'm happy with so far how things are going. That wasn't the case about a month ago. I was really upset. For the most part, I'm happy with the way things are going pregnancy wise. So like I said, 36 weeks, 3 days. So it's getting like real, it's getting really close. I actually had seen a video a few days ago, or last week, about a mom who gave birth at 35 weeks. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's right now and I'm not ready. So I went to the store the next day and got everything I needed to be ready. I got newborn diapers. I got some new bottles just in case, because all of ours, obviously I had cut bigger holes in them as my first got bigger. And then I got laboring clothes, some granny nightgowns that unbuttoned in the front, and stuff that I don't have to worry about if it gets ruined. Oh well. Comfortable though, really comfortable. So I went and got everything that I thought I would need. So at least if I went into labor, we could throw everything in a bag and we would have what we needed, because it kind of hit me that this could happen at any point and you're not ready. So some things that have been going on. If you watched my birth story about my first, you know it was a horrific experience and I still have PTSD from it, to be honest with you. It was really horrible, and I am very much hoping for a different experience this time. I did end up with an emergency C-section with her, so this time I'm going for a VBAC. Hope and pray that it goes well, because it's really something that's important to me, to be able to have a natural birth and my body do what it's supposed to do. As far as baby, he is head down, which is so, I start crying when I found out, because I was just so emotionally relieved, so excited, and just relieved, because it had been stressing me out that he was still not head down, because that was the reason for our emergency C-section with the first. Go watch that video if you don't know what I'm talking about. It's way too long to go into here, but that was what happened with the first. So of course, very early in my pregnancy, 20 weeks or so, whenever we did the anatomy scan, he was breech. And I wasn't concerned at that point, but I wanted to be sure that I had my ducks in a row, that, you know, they would do what needed to be done to get this baby head down. Because I'm like, you know, I want a natural birth and I wanted to do everything I could possibly do to make that happen. So I started going to the chiropractor, one who specializes in the Webster technique. which is a special technique of aligning your pelvis and working with your round ligaments to make sure that there's nothing constricting or twisting the uterus, because a lot of times with breech, that's why they won't turn, is because there's some unevenness, some tightness, or something that is even just slightly twisting the uterus and making it not be the perfect symmetrical shape that it should be for the baby to be able to then turn head down, which was probably the case for me because my hips were cocked and also my tailbone was cocked to the side considerably, which had started giving me pain, not when I wasn't pregnant, but when I was pregnant, he said just because it's a lot more pressure when you're pregnant on everything down there. So from about 22 weeks all the way, so about 10 weeks, we worked on that, working on getting all those issues straight. I made an appointment with the midwife at the hospital that I'm going to, who does versions, which if you're not familiar with that, it is when they, it's called something, I think ECV, external something version. It's where they actually physically turn the baby in your uterus to be head down. So if you have a breech baby, don't just say, oh, I'm going to have a C-section. They can turn your baby. I promise. It's been being done for over 30 years because they turned me when I was breech. So they can do it, and it is actually, per the doctor 30 years ago, much safer than a planned cesarean because it's not surgery. And then I had planned to do the Spinning Babies 6-day protocol to flip a breech baby. I actually had bought the ebook and everything, but there are certain exercises that you are not supposed to do if you're not sure what position your baby was in. Well, a few days before my appointment, I had done a few of the inversions and things because it's supposed to help. And after that, like, I had no clue what position he was in because I was feeling movement all over the place. Because before I had just been feeling stuff super down low, which it's because his feet were down there. Also, my placenta is anterior, it's on the front, so that made it a little more difficult to feel. It does make it more difficult to feel kind of what position he's in. But I was like, oh my goodness, I have to find out what position he's in before I do this stuff, because if there was a chance he had turned, I did not want to screw that up by doing this stuff that you're not supposed to do. So at my appointment, the midwife, we just went in and she did an unofficial little ultrasound. His head was down, his feet were up. I was so, like, that was when I started crying. I was so excited. So that was around 33 weeks. Because at 34 weeks, I was going to do the protocol. They say it's most successful at 36 weeks. So I was going to do it then. And then if it didn't work, I was going to do it again at 36 weeks. And then if he still didn't turn at 36 weeks, at 37 or 38 weeks, we were going to do a version. I am super excited that at least things are heading in the right direction. He's heading in the right direction. So it gives us a really good chance, a much better chance than we had last time, because at least now we know that he is facing the right way. I am having tons of Braxton Hicks contractions, which I did as well with Mary Emma. I just did not know that that's what it was until like the very end of my pregnancy when I had one at one of my appointments, and she was like, do you have a lot of Braxton Hicks? And I was like, I don't think so. And she said, well, you're having one right now. And I said, oh, well, yeah, I have been having a ton of them. So I am having a ton of them again this time, especially if I do any kind of like walking or exercise, which of course makes it extremely uncomfortable to do said walking. As far as the baby size, my first was 7 pounds and 1 ounce. She was very long, 21 inches long. I think he's probably going to be long too, because feels like the whole space is filled entirely with baby. He'll be, sometimes his butt is like so far up here, thinking, huh. But anyway, so she was 7 pounds 1 ounce. At yesterday I had an ultrasound as well. They do that at the end just to make sure everything's right. And she estimated him being 6 pounds 5 ounces. So if I do go all the way to my due date, he'll probably be a little bit chunkier than Mary Emma was, but maybe not. You know, I think they say they gain a half a pound a week the last month. So maybe 7.5, 8 pounds, somewhere around there's, if the guesstimation of his weight was right, I'm guessing around between 7.5 and 8 probably. We'll see. And I did fail my 1 hour glucose test, which was kind of a shock because I didn't have any problems with it last time. I didn't want to go do the 3 hour. For one, I didn't want to drink that nasty stuff again. And then for two, it's just it's just a really difficult thing to do. I've had to do it before for a different doctor, and it's not fun. You know, I have a 2-year-old and life is super crazy busy right now, and then just all the things. I did not want to do that. So I talked to my doctor and they let me get a just the finger prick machine where you check it yourself at home. I checked it after some things that should have made it spike super high, and it was well within the range after the allotted time that they told me. So didn't actually have problems with that and have not. So very thankful to not have the gestational diabetes stuff to worry about. But I did definitely clean up my diet when that happened. So I haven't gained as much at the end of my pregnancy as I did at the beginning. I'm very happy about that. I wish that I would have been better. I had planned to, but you know, I didn't. So as far as supplements go, I am taking a lot right now, more than my normal, because way back, like my first appointment, I had GBS show up in my urine culture. Like they didn't even test me for it. It just showed up in my urine culture. And so I was, they retested me yesterday for it. So I've been taking tons of stuff. I read all the natural things that you can do to try to avoid it or, you know, remedy it if you have it. The thing with GBS is it's not something that like you always have. It's a bacteria that gets in your gut and lower areas. And it comes and goes. Like just because you have it this week doesn't mean you're going to have it in 3 weeks. You can't, you know, it's a bacteria. So I've been doing all the things that they say that can help, which include, and none of this is medical advice. I am not recommending this. I'm just saying this is what I have done. And I'm curious to see if it made a difference. When my test results come back, I'll see. So one of the things is colloidal silver, however you say it. And I did have some, so I have been taking some of that. Not excessive amounts, like not even the immune support amount, just a little bit a day. I've been taking or eating garlic. I took the capsules for a while until I ran out, and then I was eating pickled garlic because we had some of that in the fridge. So I've been doing the garlic every day. I didn't do the vitamin C. It was one thing that I was going to do and I didn't because mine had gotten some moisture in it and it got bad. The grapefruit juice extract, I've been taking that. And I started all this stuff probably about 4 weeks ago in preparation for redoing my test, just to really try to get rid of the GBS. And if it comes back negative, I will continue doing all this stuff until birth. I may anyway, but definitely if it comes back negative. And then also taking 2 different probiotics just to vary the good bacteria that I'm putting in after all the stuff that's supposed to kill the bacteria, putting good ones in and all that. I think that's all I've been doing for the GBS. And then at my last blood work, I came back showing, I was anemic, which I also had low iron in my last pregnancy. We eat meat, but when I'm pregnant, it's kind of, instead of having a specific food aversion, mine is like meat. So especially at the beginning of my pregnancy, I did not eat much meat at all. It was mostly carbs. So that's probably contributing to my anemia, even though I cook in cast iron and all that good stuff. So my midwife last time recommended Hemoplex because the type of iron it is not supposed to be constipating, which TMI I already have problems with. So I really, really didn't want to take something that was going to make that worse. So the midwife this time also said that Hemoplex was fine. So I've been taking this Hemoplex. I got blood work done yesterday, so I'm curious to see if it really brought it up, which they say it does. Last time they said it did. But I definitely want to make sure that it's in a good range before I go to give birth, because you want your iron to be in a good range. You don't want to be anemic when you're giving birth. Not a good situation. I also take my normal supplements, which is Synthroid. I have hypothyroidism and vitamin D. I have a vitamin D deficiency. So those two things I take all the time, and I've continued taking in pregnancy. If you have hypothyroidism, be sure that you're getting your levels checked frequently, especially early in your pregnancy, because you have to increase your medicine. It doesn't stay level if you don't do it. Your levels are going to drop way too low, and that's dangerous for the baby. So I have gotten mine adjusted all throughout my pregnancy. And then now another thing, I am not recommending this. This is just what I have done this time, and it has super helped compared to last time. My last pregnancy, I got so super constipated. It's already something that I struggle with, and then on top of being pregnant too, just really backs you up. It slows everything down, the progesterone, then your body relaxes all the colon and all that stuff. So last time it was a major problem, and that was why I was sick for so long in my pregnancy. I swore that I would not let that happen this time. And so I've actually been taking these Senna natural laxative tablets. They don't recommend taking a laxative when you're pregnant. My midwife did say it was okay. She approved it, because I literally am sick if I don't. And it only takes one day of missing this, and I can tell a big difference. I'm super miserable. My stomach just feels like a drum, like it's gonna pop. And a lot of pressure like on this side, right here. So anyway, I'm doing that. Not recommending it. Talk to your doctor, your midwife. Don't just do that because they don't recommend it. It's just something that, for me, I have to do it or else life is just completely miserable. And the last thing that I'm taking, I take magnesium every day. I started this probably a month or two ago because I started having leg cramps really bad. I just got this one yesterday. I ran out. I didn't have time to go to the store that I got the first one from. So this is Natural Vitality Calm magnesium supplement. It's a powder and you mix it with water. The first one I got was a liquid. The first one I got was magnesium citrate. This one is magnesium carbonate. So not really, I'm not up on my research of the different types of magnesium, but this one had super good reviews on Amazon. I picked it up from Walgreens while I was in town for my appointments yesterday because it made such a difference in the cramps in my legs that I did not want to go without it. There were a couple of nights that my legs, my whole knee down almost was cramping. My calf was cramping. It was cramping on my front of my leg, like on my shin and my foot all at the same time. I had to get up and walk to get those muscles to loosen up before I could get back in bed and go to sleep. So I'm not going to be slacking on my magnesium for sure. And probably will continue taking it after pregnancy because it's just supposed to be really good for you and something that we don't get enough in our diet. So I'll link these things, the Hemoplex, the magnesium, and all those things I'll link down in the description below. As a side note, if you're on mobile, there's a little a little triangle thing next to the title, and that's how you go down to the description. So I will link all this stuff in there. And the last thing, y'all, is super disappointing and a bummer to me is the whole being pregnant during a pandemic thing. And even though it's almost December and this has been going on all year long, things are still really horrible as far as the medical system. And I'm not going to say, I don't know if it still affects people's videos or not, but we're just going to leave it at that. As far as nothing is normal. My husband wasn't able to go in when we found out the gender of the baby. I had to FaceTime him, which you can't see anything on that. Anyway, it is what it is, and there's nothing I can do about it. But I really think it's ridiculous that, you know, that's another topic for another story. I'm not even going to go into it. But just if you know someone who is pregnant and going to deliver during all this craziness, just be supportive of them because it's difficult and it's not fun. having to deal with all this stuff and wear a mask when you go to your appointments. And, you know, it's hard enough to breathe with a baby smushing on your lungs without having something over your face. But anyway, so that's what I've been doing. That's where we're at. So it is time. I'm going to start getting packed up. I'm getting my bag packed, the 2-year-old's bag packed because she's going to grandparents' houses. And just trying to, in general, get as prepared as I can, because I'm at the point now where, I mean, it could literally be any time. It could be next week. It could be in 2 weeks. It could be at his due date, which is almost just 3 weeks away, which is insane. So I hope you enjoyed this look at my 36-week pregnancy update and the supplements I'm taking. I hope that's been helpful for you. And if you are pregnant and expecting, congratulations, and I hope things go well for you as well. I will definitely be updating after he's born with how the birth goes, if I was able to do the water birth and have a successful VBAC like I am so hoping and praying for. We'll see. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. They said I was low on iron. I'm not